Hey guys, what's up? This is Coach Texman, DFW Penguin Basketball. Before we get started, go ahead and leave a comment if this is helpful for you, if you're getting something out of this. Also, make sure you subscribe. I have a bunch of different content on my channel, mainly for my players that I have. But if you feel like you're getting anything out of this video, I have a couple of other videos that I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy and you will get something from. But today, we're going to talk about how to handle the player on your team that cannot handle late game pressure. Now, there are a lot of different types of players that we deal with as coaches. You got players that love the spotlight. You got players that are afraid of it. You got players that have bad attitudes. You have players that have good attitudes. You got players that are natural leaders. But one of the hardest things to coach is a player that you know is pretty good during the first 3/4 of a game or the first half of a game, or even all the way up until the last 4 or 5 minutes of a game in any sport. But then they shy away from the spotlight. They shy away from competition. They shy away from pressure late in games, and this stems from a lot of different things. It could be stem from past bad experiences late in games, making bad decisions, losing games on shots, things of that nature. But today we're going to talk about how can you help this player overcome this and different ways you can go about it. I'm only going to talk about one or two because I don't want this video to go too long. But the number one thing, not just focusing on this one player, we're focusing on the whole team right now. So what I like to do as a coach and what I've learned from previous coaches that were pretty good, one thing to get rid of the anxiety or pressure from games, which you can't really, no matter what you do as a coach, you can never fully simulate pressure from a real actual game because you don't have the crowd there. You don't have the opposing team there. You don't have the referees there. You don't have the significance of the game in the season. It's different when you 1 or 2 games out of the playoffs and you got to win the next 2 games, and this is one of the games you have to win. Or you're in the playoffs, or you're in a semifinal game for the championship, or you're in a championship game. You can never, as a coach, fully simulate that with your players at a practice. But one thing you can do is make up simulations at a game or make up scenarios at practice that could be real life game situations. So, for example, let's say you have a blue and a white team, okay, during the scrimmage, right? You turn the clock on, put a certain score of one team. Let's say the white team is up 3 and the blue team is losing by 3 with 1 minute left. Now you put the pressure on the blue team to catch up within that 1 minute and win the game. Give them different scenarios. Blue team is in the bonus as far as fouls or different situations like that. One thing I like to do is I make up scenarios. Let's say Bobby is the best player on the team, right? And he's on the blue team. So Bobby's the best player on the team. He's the leader. He's the lead scorer, all of this stuff. And I say, hey, within this 1 minute left, Bobby has 4 fouls. If he fouls out, he's done. So a lot of times I will make up something. If Bobby bumps into someone, hey, he's got a foul, he's out. So this makes it one. It gets the players on the team comfortable without the leader being on the floor in late game situations, and it forces them. Also, when Bobby's in, it kind of teaches them how to play defense without fouling. It helps other players overcompensate and help Bobby on defense a little bit more, so he doesn't get that foul. But if the foul does occur, which I will make up, now these other guys, and the sub that comes in for Bobby has to focus on and get used to being in a scenario where their leader is not on the floor. So it builds confidence for them late game situations, not only when he's not on the floor, but even when he is on the floor. So they believe in themselves a little bit more than normal with him on the floor because of these past situations and simulations we've had at practice during scrimmages. Now, you can play with this as a coach and make up different scenarios late in games by using the clock, making up different foul situations, putting guys on the line, having them get fouled and go to the free throw line. If you make a win or lose a game, what if this guy misses the shot? All this stuff is just building up their confidence and and not even just targeting one player, your whole team, as to handle late game pressure. Now, for the player that you want to target that may be able to help you, but he's having anxiety late in games. Okay, one thing I like to do is put the pressure, put the spotlight on them. How do you do that? The same way you do it with the full team. Let's say you put 15 seconds on the clock, you draw up a play during this scrimmage. You're down one. Make Bobby draw up the play for Bobby to take the last shot. And even if Bobby doesn't make the shot in practice frequently to win the game, and or make the big play to win the game, or make the big assist, or whatever it may be, or get the big rebound, it's putting him in a mind state of, I've done this before and I can do it. So now when the time comes within the game and you need Bobby, you want to drop this play and you need Bobby to hit this three-pointer, you need him to score off this pick and roll, he's able to do that because he's done it before. Even if he hasn't had full success, he's done it before. And one thing I believe in is that repetition is the father of skill. The more you do something, the better you get at it. For example, I just did this full video a second ago, and I had the camera wrong. Okay, now my second run at doing this video is a lot better than the first one because I've done it and I've already talked about it, so it's fresh in my mind, if that makes any sense. And now me repeating it is going to be a whole lot better. It's just like if you do a speech over and over and over and over to a classroom or a group of people. The first 4 or 5 times you do it, it's not going to be as good as the last 30 times you've done it. So the more you do something and you do it, you do quality repetitions of it, the more you'll get better. So the more you have this player or your group of players go through these scenarios, it gets them prepared mentally, and the more confidence they will build from doing that. So guys, that is pretty much it. It's a bunch of other ways you can go about doing it, but I'm just going to go over those two. Just remember, you can play with that as a coach during scrimmages and stuff. But guys, that's pretty much it, man. Make sure if you got something from this, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys later.